Now that you have a decent definition of learning and have discussed some examples from your own life, let's find out what is actually happening to your brain when you're learning new things. All learning takes place through little things called neurons and the interactions between them. The neurons connect with each other in infinite ways to create knowledge and skills. The average brain has 100 billion neurons. Yes, that's B, billion. Let's learn about how these neurons work.
A neuron has several parts. We're going to focus on just the core components. The soma is the cell body and the core of the neuron. It houses the nucleus, which is the central and most important part of the neuron, forming the basis for its activity and growth. On the cell body, long finger-like appendages, called dendrites, stretch out from the soma. These dendrites are the receivers of information in chemical form. They grow from the soma and literally make new connections with other dendrites when learning takes place. Once the information has been taken in, it's processed through the soma and then transferred through the axon to the end terminal where the information waits to be sent out to make another connection. The chemical information waiting in the terminal is transferred from the axon terminal to another dendrite through a space in between called the synaptic cleft. And then the process continues. That transfer of chemical information makes a connection or reinforces the existing one. The new knowledge or information, in the form now of a new but weak connection, stays connected for a while. However, if that particular connection is not frequently used, the connection is pruned away. If the connection is frequently revisited, on the other hand, the transfer becomes quicker and the myelin sheath protecting the axon becomes thicker. At some point, if the connection is made with enough repetition, it becomes permanent. Let's take a look at some real neurons in action, connecting and pruning. In your mind, there are unlimited possibilities. Here you see two neurons coming together, making a new connection. Let's watch that in slow motion. Reaching out, please help me learn. I want to make a connection with you, and then bam! All of a sudden, that connection is made and new learning has taken place. And when you put all of those together, all of that new learning, 100 billion, they make up the neural networks in your mind. When you change your mind, take a look at the highlighted area. A connection is being dissolved and a new connection is being made. And finally, old knowledge that is not being used anymore being pruned away.
So we're going to test out really quickly how quickly your brain relays messages with connections that have already been built in your brain without you even knowing. So we're going to kind of trick your brain, all right? There's only one rule of this activity. You need to answer both questions that I ask you as quickly as possible, and then we'll kind of explain what happened. Okay. Are you ready? Got to answer out loud, everybody in class, out loud, as quickly as you can as soon as you hear the questions. Okay, there's going to be two of them back to back. You ready? Here we go. What color is the paper? What do cows drink? Think about it. They don't, do they? Your mind got tricked. Here's what happened. As soon as you said the word white, that neuron fired up and was ready to connect to something. It had lots of connections for white. You didn't know which one. It didn't know which one it was going to connect to. As soon as you heard the word cow and drink together, those two words, your neuron immediately fired and connected to milk. Because when you hear cow and you hear white, what do you think? Milk. But the question was, what do cows drink? And cows do not drink milk, they drink water. They're wandering around in the pastures. They don't find little tubs of milk to drink, they drink water. So your brain tricked you by firing quickly to what it thought the connection would be, even before you knew it, because that connection has been made and it's permanent. Fun, huh? So today we're going to teach you a few little hand gestures to help you remember what a neuron looks like and all the parts of a neuron, at least the core parts of the neuron. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to put your fists together like this and you're going to say, soma. No, that wasn't loud enough. Let's try it again. The soma is the cell body that contains the nucleus. Let's try it again. Soma. That's your soma, that's your cell body. I think I heard you a little that time. All right, now remember the dendrites are the things that come off the soma to try to find new knowledge. They're the receivers of information coming down. Here comes the information down here. So we're going to say, dendrite. Come on, wake up guys. It's afternoon. Ready? Let's try it again. Dendrite. All right, that was better. So we got soma. We got dendrite. So the information comes down into the dendrite through the soma, and then it gets transferred down the axon. So we're going to say that. Axon. You have to draw it out because it's traveling a long way through the axon. Try it one more time. Axon. And finally, it reaches the end of its journey in the neuron. And this all takes fractions of seconds to where it gets to the axon terminal. And obviously, I don't have fingers growing out of my elbow. So I've attached this glove, but you really don't need to do that. You can do this, but I'm going to use it in the next step here. So it goes through the dendrites, then the soma, down the axon, to where it gets to the part where it's at the end of its journey and getting ready to make a connection with another neuron like we talked about. So this is the axon terminal, where it's going to wait and then it's going to join up with other dendrites or another neuron and make that connection. All right, so let's try it all one more time. Here we go. Soma, dendrites, axon, and then axon terminal. Let's wiggle our elbows for that one. Axon terminal. All right? And what does that do? The information comes from here, goes all the way down, and then comes out the axon terminal, where another neuron comes along and makes a connection just like that. So now that you have a way to remember all the parts of a neuron using hand actions, take some time, practice, and then color and label the provided diagram. So until next time, I'll see soma you later. That ain't right. Dendrite. I crack myself up.